Welcome back, everybody. I'm just taking a nice little sail through BrownieLand and enjoying this beautiful, beautiful weather on this beautiful Minecraft day. What is going on? Hello? Hey, hello?
Hello?
What are you doing
hi.
here?
I'm just picking some flowers.
Oh, but what are you doing in this world? This is my world, and you're not supposed to be here. Who are you, first off? Let's start by that. I'm Brownie.
I'm Jared.
Okay. And but you said you're picking my flowers. You're picking my beautiful sunflowers.
Oh yes. They create some really nice dyes. They do get replenished.
Oh.
I promise that.
Okay. Well, I mean, as long as you're not just completely taking all of them, and you're at least planting some back.
Yes, of course.
Okay. But that answers one of my questions. But you said you did some landscaping here too.
I did some terraforming.
Oh. But that doesn't okay, we're gonna skip this because what are you doing here? I still don't know why you're here.
Well, I'm setting up a little house over here. I found this beautiful little view here, and I thought it would be perfect with a little bit of a cottage.
It is gorgeous. You got some beautiful, whatever those things are called, icebergs. That's what they're called. Goodness.
Indeed.
But so you're setting up a cottage here.
Indeed.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, if you don't mind my encroachment, since I do own this land, do you mind if I join?
Feel free. Feel free.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and kind of discuss some plans then, and we'll come back once that's kind of all figured out there.
Yep.
All right. Well, I do want to say thank you so much for joining me today. This was a really fun thing to kind of set up, because I have never met you before setting this whole thing up here. A mutual friend of ours actually suggested you join us today.
Indeed. I was introduced to you about a year ago by the same friend while he was building the end village or city that you're building in the overworld.
Oh, really? Okay. Awesome. Yeah, that's a fun project. I've got a lot changed in just a year's time too, so.
Indeed, yes. A lot more progress has been made.
It looks massively different. Ooh, we got a little bit of a hill that we're working with over here.
Indeed.
So this style series has been kind of on hiatus for a little while. Not by my choosing, but kind of more along the lines of losing inspiration to go out and find people, because that's like the hardest part of this. Setting this up is really not all that difficult, because we can always find a time frame, and if 1 week doesn't work, we can kind of switch around and make it work. But I really wanted to bring this back because I have learned so much in this series, and a lot of that has to do with some questions. And if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and start asking you. I gave you these in advance, so you kind of, well, five seconds in advance, so you could kind of start to think about the ideas here. Ooh. How do you find inspiration for builds? What's the process for you?
Well, I love basing my Minecraft builds off real life buildings. Typically, I I draw them actually, which
Ooh.
and then I just start building them. Most of the time, it takes about a week or two to plan up a build. I love planning in advance, so the build I'm actually building at the moment, or that we're working on, I've planned when Mama Sugar actually recommended that we do a collab together.
Oh, really awesome. Oh,
Indeed. So hopefully it looks good with the surroundings. I'm sure it will.
oh yeah, I have no doubt in my mind that this is going to look good. I haven't even seen any sketches or anything, and I'm sure it'll look great. Okay, so you draw them. You're the first person actually I've had on this that like draws in advance.
Indeed. It's not a common one, but I somewhat get attached to the Minecraft builds that I build, which sounds really strange, but somehow, yeah, to me, I get attached to my Minecraft builds, so I plan them out like excessively, and every little detail like means something and makes it look a little better.
Okay. Oh,
I'm just laying
that's how
out
we're
the
doing it.
walls at the moment.
Did I place it on the wrong place? I probably did.
Oh no, that should be fine.
Okay.
There needs to be a wall over there and then just over here as well.
Oh, okay, cool. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here. Awesome. Yeah, I can definitely understand the getting attached to your builds, because there's been many a build in this world that I've kind of been like, oh, I gotta go take a look at that again, and okay, so that's a fun inspiration gathering. Now, you said you base it off of real life blocks. Wow, good job. Real life builds. Do you like go onto Google and like take a look at like images, like do an image search or anything before you you draw?
I do. I travel a lot in real life. I'm actually a pilot, so
Oh, that's super
the
cool.
hotels I stay at, a lot of them are some of the stuff I take inspiration from. So this is actually one of them. This is a
Okay.
cottage I stayed in when I was in the UK. So it's just based off that as well.
And I guess we should mention generally where you're from too, because obviously the accent might give it away, but you're not
Yes,
American.
A lot of people, no. I'm from South Africa.
Which I think is super cool. You're the first South African that I've actually been able to collab with, so that's exciting.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. All right, what fancy stuff are we getting into next?
All right, so I'm just doing a bit of randomization in the brick with some granite.
Which I absolutely love this this randomization combo. Oh
Very
yeah.
nice.
Okay, so I like the idea that you get inspiration from places you stay at, especially since being a pilot, that's vastly different.
Indeed.
So I guess we'll move on to the next portion, which we're going to kind of delve into a little bit more styles esque. And this grass block is bothering me, so I'm going to fix that real quick. There it is. Oh, hello. We got a visitor who decided to shoot at me. Do we have them in here? Did they spawn in here, or no? One just spawned. And that was it. So it's going to deal with more along the styles, the actual styles portion. So we have two parts to this question. The first one is, what is your favorite build style to build in? And then the second part is, what is your least favorite style to build in? I'm just going to kind of do this here.
I'd say my most favorite style to building is probably rustic, but with a hint of medieval. I like to mix together a variety of build styles, because giving myself a challenge is... I love a good challenge.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I'd say my least favorite style would have to be fantasy. I can never get the style correct. When other people build it, it looks absolutely phenomenal, but when I do it myself, I can never get the shapes right because it's very intricate sort of designs.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That I feel like you almost have to have a second eye for a fantasy style. Not everybody can be like a false symmetry, where she just kind of automatically builds in fantasy no matter what she does, and it's incredible.
It's a very good thing to have.
But yeah, I can get behind that. So the rustic is one that I don't really dabble in, but I love looking at. And yeah, so that's definitely. And then I can agree with you where kind of combining styles is a lot of fun as well.
Indeed.
All right, so this is looking great. I'm gonna go ahead and sleep since it's becoming night. I'm just gonna use...
we found out earlier that this forest nearby, even in daytime, produces a lot of creepers.
Yeah, there was like 4 or 5 of them. It was ridiculous. Unbelievably ridiculous. Okay, so you've got the pen and paper portion of your building done. So you've got the drawing already. How do you transition that into planning the build out in game? How do you plan out a build palette? How do you plan out a shape? Because obviously transitioning a 2D drawing into a 3D space can be a little challenging.
Very true. I think of it as I try and make it like sizable with real life builds compared to how small Minecraft characters are. Okay. But just in a way that makes it feel comfortable to build, not too big, not too small, and so that things can fit inside. I love making houses where it's very cozy and comfortable and like you would want to live in it in real life.
I like the size of this. Walking in here, it definitely feels cozy. It feels, large enough to be like, oh yeah, this could be a room here. This will be a room here, and everything will kind of fit well in there. But it doesn't feel too big.
Indeed, yes. I think I've learned over the years, I used to build things incredibly large. On a server I played once, I built a cathedral which was about 300 chunks large, and it was incredibly overwhelming. So I decided, why not build smaller and add loads more detail? And it turned out working really well.
Yeah, that's that's a pretty drastic change. But I think that's a very doable thing. Oh, I could have made the concrete.
It's very speedy making it.
Yeah. I was actually looking, we have several data packs from a data pack maker by the name of Voodoo Beard. And he's actually got one. I think he's got the one. But there's one that I found where you basically take the concrete powder and throw it into a cauldron or a water source block, and it turns into concrete, so it's a little easier to work with.
That would be very, very convenient.
Well, we have one more question that I'm going to go ahead and ask, and then we can kind of discuss different stuff. Pertaining to the build, or if you have questions for me, you feel free to ask as well. But this last one is, what is your favorite biome in Minecraft? And that can be to build in or just aesthetically or anything like that?
Well, typically what I love doing is finding a mushroom biome and terraforming it to make it into a custom biome. I am really, really terrible at dealing with mob spawns and torch placements and stuff along those lines, so it's just super convenient for me to begin on a mushroom island.
That's fair enough. That's absolutely a fair thing to want to not deal with.
But as a challenge, my favorite biome would definitely be the one that we're next to at the moment, that being the iceberg.
Okay, yeah.
I'm really interested by the iceberg biome and really gonna try and build something like an ice palace somewhere one day. I think that would be super cool.
You can get some ideas from, I think Etho has some stuff with that. Stress Monster built an ice castle. She was the Ice Queen after all. So there's some good, some really good builders that you can get some pretty decent ideas from.
Indeed.
I personally really love dark oak forests. I'm terrible at this game. I am so bad at it. In the sense of not necessarily building, because I think I'm adequate at building. But the mob fighting, I'm not very good at. That's why I have all this gear and I refuse to reset myself now. Because I do enough of that, elsewhere. But the the dark oak, I don't know. It's got this really like deep forest green, not necessarily forest green, but this really nice deep green color for the grass. And then I really like the darkness of the dark oak wood. And then I just really like the tree. I like all of it combined. I feel like challenging yourself to build in a really forested area is a lot of fun. And then using one thing I do when I build is I like to use the materials that are easily gathered as a starting point for my builds. So in a dark oak forest, I would be like, okay, so dark oak is the main oak or the main wood that I will use, because they wouldn't necessarily have spruce in abundance in that area.
Very true. That's similar to me. I love building things that are sustainable. So, for example, a thing that I'm building on another server at the moment is a futuristic build that's based in the future. Oh, well, that's futuristic. But
it's a great description.
But yes, it's a pretty large civilization that's able to provide itself and sustain itself with food and electricity and stuff along those lines. So I try and incorporate that factor into a lot of my Minecraft builds. So a lot of my rustic and medieval builds will have wheat fields or a little greenhouse type thing for food and etc. etc.
I love that because it adds a lot of life to the world. And I'm very much, I don't know how much you explored, because I gave you a world download before we started this. This is actually kind of close to the world spawn where I had you set up at to begin with. But I am very much one that enjoyed having those massive crop fields that seem to go on forever. And I grew up with my mom's side owning a farm, so going out, feeding the cattle, helping harvest and do all that stuff with the tractors and the like. I'm very used to that, so I'm used to seeing all these crop fields. And I actually just realized that I have a bad omen on me.
Nice. think besides interior, that is the cottage complete.
I love it. So I think we may end it here. And then this will give an excuse to bring you back. And maybe do some more of the exterior leading out to the main road out there. And then do the interior for sure. Sound good to you?
Indeed. Sounds fun.
Awesome. I kind of like leaving that open to where we can have a secondary episode. And talk about some different things too.
Indeed, indeed.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. I had an absolute blast, and I learned a lot. This is definitely a lot different than anything that we've done so far on the series as well.
That's good. Thank you for having me.
So if any of you guys are interested in checking out the content, especially based off of this build, like, I mean, I'm excited to see more, and I hope you guys are too. Check down below. I will leave all of his links in the description below, and yeah, check them out, and check out, follow, and all of it. I'm struggling today. Goodness gracious, I'm so sorry. This is not like me. So where is the primary source that we can find you?
On Twitch and Twitter.
Okay, awesome. Well, both of links will be down below, so make sure you do go support there. I'm so. I think it's because I'm so tired. But thank you so much again for joining me. I had an absolute blast. Guys, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you hit that like button and also hit that subscribe button for more series like this, as well as other series in BrownieLand and other servers going forward. We are very grateful that you guys watched, and I can't wait to see what happens next. And I look forward to having you back on the channel there. So
I look forward to being here. Thank you for having me today. It was very, very fun.
It was a blast. Thank you guys again, and we will see you in the next episode.